name is Tara McGitts, and this is one of a continuing series of videos on various topics within the law, focusing primarily on areas in which my offices, which is the law offices of Drinkwater and Goldstein LLP in Atco, New Jersey, practices, but occasionally we stray outside of that for a particularly interesting topic. Today's topic is going to be well within the area where my office practices and I practice personally, which is underinsured and uninsured motorists, which is colloquially or shortened to UM/UIM coverage. So I'm going to be showing you my insurance policy, redacted, to explain some of this topic. So if you have your deck page, which is the information that I'm showing you, which identifies the policy coverages that you have. For example, on this page here, it says Part A, liability, Part B, personal injury protection, Part C, uninsured motorist. That's the focus of what I'm going to be talking about. So if you have your policy handy with this particular information and you want to take a look at it as you go, as I'm going along, you can go ahead and do that. Now, every policy is not going to be exactly the same, and the disclaimer that I make as always and continue here is that this is designed specifically around the state of New Jersey and New Jersey law. So if you reside outside of the state of New Jersey or involved in a motor vehicle accident outside of the state of New Jersey, this information may not be applicable to you. And if you want to find out if it is applicable, I strongly recommend that you reach out to an attorney in your area who specializes in personal injury and particularly motor vehicle accidents, because this deals particularly with motor vehicle auto insurance policies and then motor vehicle accidents themselves. It's not going to be applicable for slip and falls or medical malpractice cases within personal injury. So, in the state of New Jersey, there is a state law that mandates that uninsured motorist coverage is required to be found on standard policies. Now, New Jersey has different types of automobile insurance policies. The policy that I am dealing with specifically today is the standard policy. So my policy, if you zoom in, is going to identify itself as a New Jersey standard auto insurance policy. Okay. So, with that being said, I have uninsured motorist coverage as required by state law on my policy. In addition to that, most insurance companies for a standard policy bundle uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage together. So you might be asking yourself, what is uninsured motorist coverage? What is underinsured motorist coverage? So now I'm going to read you the definition that is found in the Understanding Your Policy from my personal insurance policy and my most recent renewal. So they identify uninsured motorist coverage as coverage that pays you for property damage or bodily injury if you are in an auto accident caused by an uninsured motorist. Okay. Underinsured motorist coverage is coverage that pays you for property damage or bodily injury if you are in an auto accident caused by a driver who is uninsured but who has less coverage than your underinsured motorist coverage. Okay. Now, most people are aware that they have bodily injury coverage on their policy, or liability coverage. That's my Part A, all the way at the top here, where it says the bodily injury, and then it says each per, and then each accident. So that's my coverage for if I'm involved in a motor vehicle accident where I am at fault. And if I'm at fault, this is the coverage that would provide compensation to the injured party. UM/UIM coverage, which is going to be down here, Part C, that's coverage that protects me if I'm in an accident and I am not at fault. So my coverage is of a certain amount. New Jersey has different amounts of coverages that are available. So they have minimum coverages. So that's going to be found right here on the standard policy coverage selection form. So at the top here, you can see where it says uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage, and it gives you options. So it gives options ranging from 15,000, 30,000. So 15,000 per person, 30,000 per accident, which is the minimum required by state law. And my particular insurance company has coverage all the way up through what they're identifying as 300, 500, and then 500, 500, 500 million, and then a million, a million. And then for, so what that means then is that they're identifying both what's called combined single limit and split limit coverages. So I'm not going to get specifically into those, but when you see the numbers the same, so 500, 500, for example, that's generally going to be most likely a combined single limit, which means that for every type of coverage, that's the limit combined in the adding up together. Whereas if it's, for the example, 500,000, 1 million, then that's going to be 500,000 per person, $1 million per accident. All right, so we've talked about that. And then in addition to that, you are also going to identify a deductible amount, which is going to be related to the property damage portion of your UM/UIM coverage. And that ranges from, apparently my insurance company does $0 all the way up to $2,000. So you can make that selection. And when, all right, so let's put that back. All right, so this is the example of underinsured motorist coverage that my insurance company has provided to me in the understanding your policy section. So this identifies Jane purchases $100,000 in liability coverage, which we've discussed is coverage that protects a injured person if you are at fault, okay? And $100,000 in underinsured motorist coverage. That's the coverage that protects you if you are involved in an accident and you are not at fault and the other driver has less coverage than you have in liability coverage. So Sam in this example is the other driver who's at fault. Sam purchases only $15,000 in liability coverage. Sam crashes his car into Jane's car, causing $25,000 in damages. Sam's insurance company pays $15,000 of the damages to the car, while Jane's insurance company pays the remaining $10,000 from her underinsured motorist coverage. So UM and UIM coverage provides two specific types of coverage. It covers personal injury, so pain and suffering damage. So if you're injured in the accident and the other driver's coverage is less than your coverage, you can receive up to the maximum amount of UM or UIM coverage that you have selected to compensate you for your injuries. Additionally, there's a property damage component. So if the other driver's insurance is insufficient to pay for the total amount of property damage to your vehicle, you also have coverage up to the amount that you have selected in UM or UIM coverage to pay for the property damage that you sustained. All right. The reason that we are talking about this today and the reason that I'm pulling out my policy to give you this information is to suggest that you look at your policy to see a couple of things. First, what have you selected for both liability and underinsured, uninsured motorist coverage? Are they equal to each other? Because while the liability insurance provides a compensation to an injured party when you are at fault, the UM/UIM coverage provides the compensation to you. So at a minimum, my recommendation is always to every single client who asks me this question, and therefore to you as well, is that you want the coverages to match, if at all possible. And I understand that there are financial concerns that come into this question in terms of what you are able to do. But you have to also pay attention to the fact that the UM/UIM coverage protects you if you are in a motor vehicle accident. People are sometimes upset to find out that the coverage of the other driver is the minimum required by New Jersey state law, which is $15,000. And if they have also selected a minimum policy of $15,000, there is no uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage available. And the maximum recovery available to that person for whatever injuries they sustain is going to be $15,000. If the other driver's coverage is $50,000 and you have selected $15,000, there is no uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage available to you. So I'm strongly suggesting that you reach out to your insurance agent or company to figure out, if you don't have access to your deck page, what your policy limits are, and to the extent possible to address them so as to provide you with more coverage. Because if you are involved in a motor vehicle accident and the coverage of the underlying responsible driver is insufficient, the additional recovery comes from the UM/UIM coverage on your policy. And if that's insufficient to compensate you for the injuries that you have sustained, then you are likely to remain uncompensated for the full extent of your injuries. And this is something that absolutely can be addressed. At a minimum, please look into having your liability coverage, which protects the other person, and your UM/UIM coverage to match each other. You should not protect someone else more than you protect yourself. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or criticisms about today's topic, or you'd like to get some more information, please feel free to contact us. The information is going to be found somewhere within the video. Again, my name is Tara McGitz. I'm an attorney with the law offices of Drinkwater and Goldstein. If you have any suggestions for a topic that we cover, please feel free to drop us a comment. If you liked the video or didn't like the video, please let us know why or why not, so we can make any changes to try to address that if we think that it is appropriate. And as always, I'm going to repeat the disclaimer. We practice in New Jersey and New Jersey only. This advice and recommendations and law is only for the state of New Jersey. It does not apply necessarily to any other state. If you have any questions or concerns about that, if you reside in a different state, please contact an attorney who resides and practices in that particular state to make sure that you have the correct information as to your particular circumstances and particular state. Until next time, see you later. This is Tara McGitz from the law offices of Drinkwater and Goldstein. Please remember, as always, to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our brand new website, helpimhurt.law. That's helpimhurt.law. And the graphic should be somewhere on this video actually identifying what that is, and potentially with a link, so please feel free to come check it out. Let me know what you think. Thanks. See you next time.